Same shit that everybody else been saying since I moved to 147. I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Watch. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stump a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? You gonna be just like everybody else. Watch. Watch.
With Canelo versus Crawford coming up soon, the heat is not going away anytime soon. Just like at the last news conference, Canelo and Crawford were caught using racial slurs. The whole thing started when Canelo was asked about the fight they had at the previous press conference.
What? I didn't. He did before. He tried to welcome me back, and it just was my reaction. That's it. I think he don't did them because he really wanted to do. I think Turki Al-Ashi told him, you need to do something. And he did. He did. And now...
Also, Crawford made it clear after the news conference that he likes all the trouble and has been laughing at Canelo's crazy behavior.
I laughed at it, as you can see. You know, I love things like that. You know, it excites me. I'm more motivated than ever now.
At the last news conference, Terence Crawford talked about how Canelo Alvarez shoved him during the fight. He told them that the surge had not scared him in any way and that it had no effect on how he planned to fight.
Nothing. You know what I mean? Like, that little push didn't do nothing, as you can see. But come fight time, we're not going to be pushing, we're going to be punching. So it doesn't even matter.
In addition to the last news conference, there was a face-off with the death stare during this one. New boxing organizer, Dana White, who was actually signed with the UFC, had to stop them. It's not just a war. Two men will fight in the same ring in this once-in-a-lifetime event. They have beaten opponents in every weight class, won as many titles as they have prizes, and shut down critics everywhere. After thinking about his fight with Billy Joe Saunders, Canelo Alvarez talked about how this experience motivates him. He thought about how Saunders had behaved and acted before the fight, which made him so angry that he went into the ring to fight more violently and angrily. By saying that, he gave the impression that he would go through something similar in his fight with Crawford.
For Bud Crawford, you know, a lot of MMA fans, UFC fans, may not have ever seen you fight before, and they might tune in because Dana and the UFC are involved. So what has it been like maybe introducing yourself to a lot of MMA fans?
There were things Crawford said that Canelo Alvarez didn't like, especially when Crawford said that he didn't think it was important to live up to other people's standards. Canelo says that Crawford almost seemed to have something to prove or someone to talk about at the press meeting.
A little bit more personal because, you know, I did respect him. I don't respect him anymore because he say, I'm not gonna do what they want me to do and this and that. And then he tried to, maybe Turki Al-Ashi told him, hey, you need to do something because you seem so nervous in Riyadh. So and he tried to like he walked me back, and that's why I pushed him. And you know, like I say, don't fuck with me.
Does it bring a different Canelo then?
Yeah, it's different.
During the press conference, Canelo also said something similar. He told the media and boxing staff that he thought Turki telling Crawford to walk him down might have caused the confusion in the last fight. He told Crawford that if he messed with him, his career would end.
Before, I respect his word because he say, oh, I'm not gonna let somebody to tell me what I need to do. And he did. So, but you know me. I respect everybody, but if you me, so it's gonna be different. You know.
Listen.
Hey, we know, buddy. We know.
First
we know.
and foremost.
We know.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford got into a heated argument. During the argument, Crawford said he was scared because of stories going around in the Canelo camp. He said that he turned up in front of Canelo to show him that he wasn't afraid to give us a hint that he was making the plans for the fight. Canelo later said that he never did this himself, stating what Crawford's uncle said.
Somebody was in the room saying that I was scared of them. So I stepped to him and showed him who is the boss of this fight. I ain't scared of shit.
Hey, I never say that. Your uncle say that, not me.
Even though he keeps saying it, Crawford says he doesn't fear anyone. At their last news conference, he told everyone that he wasn't afraid to go up to Canelo, who is a naturally big fighter. Canelo will find that out when they fight.
Scared of shit. And you're going to find that out. As you've seen, the last press conference,
We'll see.
when I walked you down, when you supposed to be the bigger man.
Yeah, hey, you say that because you fighting with nobody, and you obviously look like you're a great fighter. But you find out September 13th, this is gonna be different for you.
And it's going to be different from you as well.
On the one hand is Canelo Alvarez, a Mexican hero and the present undisputed super middleweight champion. 39 knockouts, 63 wins, and 2 losses. He has fought some of the best boxers. There is Gennady Golovkin, Caleb Plant, Sergey Kovalev, Miguel Cotto, and more. Even though both the fighters and the fans were talking about how big the fight was, Hearn expertly kept the Crawford hype in check. He was a little nervous at first, but now he knows that today is a big day for Canelo.
You see the presser yesterday, and I thought Canelo looked really well. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, he's a big lump, so I was always Canelo. Then I sort of leant towards Bud, but now I'm back with Canelo. So we'll see.
Canelo's an all-time great. He's an incredible fighter, and look, I actually think this is a bad fight for him because
Eddie Hearn says that he leans more toward Canelo. Then, Hearn set up a setup where neither side finds the battle easy at all. He knew that Crawford's unique style, along with his quick reactions, smooth moves, and frequent adjustments, could make the ring look like a checkerboard and force Canelo to catch up.
he'll engage a lot more than Skull, but he will be looking to do all the things where people have had success, which is use movement. Look at what Bivol did. Bivol had the perfect game plan. He boxed off the back foot, then he attacked, then he moved, then he, all that kind of stuff. And then Crawford will be looking to do exactly the same.
He also said that Crawford sees this fight as more than just a way to make a lot of money or get a new title. That's the main goal for him. He says Crawford sees it as his chance to become more than just a technical genius and become great. The one that goes down in the history books of the sport. According to Hearn, Crawford doesn't want power. His goal is to leave a memory.
It's a fight that's probably quite personal to him to prove himself as a great. And there is no doubt that if he wins this fight, he's a great. He's a pound for pound tremendous fighter, but
he had to deal with the gap in size, which is the big problem. The fact that Crawford was 147 pounds made him a welterweight, keeping an eye on the 168-pound king for a long time. Still, it was easy to see the change in weight. Crawford kept calling out Canelo's name. It was interesting that Canelo left the door open. He didn't close the door, but left it open so that he would be serious if the business did work out.
47, obviously 154 now. But the money's the money, and he was never going to turn it down.
In his career, Canelo went from being a young prospect to one of the biggest sports stars to fight pay-per-view stars of today. He fought and beat the champions at 4 different weights. Canelo has his own kingdom both inside and outside of the ring. He fights with steel chins, body shots that wear down opponents, and accurate, heavy counterpunches. At the news conference, he looked calmer and more at ease than Bud. He talked about how he felt about working with Dana White and the event managers to get ready for the big event. Canelo saw that White and UFC players worked together and didn't see the UFC and boxing as competitors. "You give the impression that we are in competition, but I know I'm not," he said. Dana White has always been interesting to me. I love and respect every UFC fighter, and I think that if we all work together, we can show other people that we can do great things. Because of this, I'm excited to work with Dana White and everyone else interested in this big fight, including Netflix. That's why I'm happy to go with this man. He knows I've liked him for a long time. And this time, Crawford is something new for everyone. We should see what Crawford does with this new identity. When Antonio Tarver talked about Terence Crawford's mindset, he was adamant. He has a unique energy that sets great fighters apart. Tarver compared it to the sure of themselves, bossy attitude that great athletes have. That way of thinking that gets rid of doubt and doesn't see any enemy as a threat.
Bro, I've been telling y'all for the That boy got that energy. And you know what energy I'm talking about. What is that? Tarver energy.
Yes, sir.
Tarver. He got that.
Yes,
and so
sir.
you know, when you get that, we don't see nobody, bro.
Following this, Tarver turned his attention to Canelo Alvarez and gave a harsher evaluation. Even though he said Canelo was tough, he pointed out that the Mexican superstar hadn't fought a real opponent in a long time and that his ring moves hadn't been as exact lately. Tarver warned that comfort can be bad. It could cause even the best fighters to lower the amount of gas they put out.
Now he in there with a dog, Canelo. Now the Canelo footwork ain't been what it's supposed to be lately, and he hasn't a real threat in a long time. Right. Now sometimes we can get so comfortable in that zone, but now you got to go down deep to get ready for Crawford. Tarver, you feel me?
Everyone knows that Crawford is a good boxer because he has a 410-0 record with 30 knockouts. No one has been able to figure out how to hit him with a switch yet. Once he reached 140 pounds, no one has been able to beat him. He had a huge showing against Errol Spence Jr. at 147 pounds that shocked the boxing world and won him the world title at 154 pounds. Now, he is taking a risky step up another class to face the most powerful man at 168. Goal setting like that doesn't happen very often. I haven't seen many people who could pull it off. Frank Martin talked about the different plans that Terence Crawford and William Skull would use in their fight with Canelo Alvarez. Martin thought that Skull's move to become more defensive after Canelo's last fight was an example of this. Martin, on the other hand, doesn't think Crawford will use that approach.
But I don't think Terence gonna run from Canelo as much as that guy did. I feel like he gonna box for sure, but he gonna sit down on some shots. He gonna fight in spurts against Canelo, I feel.
Martin says that Crawford will always be able to beat Canelo, even though Crawford is smaller than Canelo. For example, Crawford is faster. Martin then said that Crawford could beat Canelo because he would be faster if he were smaller.
Quicker than him and
fast. Sometimes, man, like just because a guy bigger, it don't always mean like, he can crack, but it's like Terence he gonna be the faster, he gonna be the quicker fighter, the more explosive fighter too, I feel like.
By listing the problems smaller opponents have when they play against bigger ones, he successfully put together logical reasons for why fighters who are smaller and faster are better than fighters who are bigger and heavier. His reasoning and logic back the idea that quickness should be praised when paired against strength and when the two are evenly matched or very close.
And don't mean nothing. A lot of times them guys be slower,
Yeah.
When a smaller guy come up to a higher weight, you just can't get hit by the bigger guy, especially if he a puncher. But a lot of times the smaller guy have an advantage, I feel like, because they quicker.
In Crawford's case, the fight could change what it means to be great. If he beat Canelo, who is physically bigger than him but has shown he can win in all three weight classes, he would be the first male boxer in the four-belt era to hold an undisputed title in all three weight classes. It's never been done before. It's not Mayweather or Pacquiao. Roy Jones Jr. is not the right guy. This is history if written in big script. A lot of his old foes are working together to beat Canelo Alvarez. Floyd Mayweather Jr., the boxer who gave Canelo one of his worst losses, is a well-known voice that is still used today. The first time they fought, Mayweather beat a younger Canelo in 2013. He also had such great control over him.
You could take a guy like Canelo, this guy could do, he can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Cakewalk. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude. Easy. Y'all always disrespecting our fighters.
In terms of physical advantages, they are equal, but the difference in weight could change the outcome of the fight. Each team is also very sure of itself because of this. Brian Bulak McIntyre, his trainer, had the same level of intensity as his fighter and spoke with a cool confidence that was louder than fire. The way he spoke was quiet and sure, like someone who knows exactly how good their fighter is. He didn't use insults or threats. He made it clear that he already knew what they wanted to happen, even though the details of their plan would be kept hidden. Bomac didn't want to make more noise or put on a show for the cameras. He was busy with work. behind the scenes. That comes from years of practice, trust, and getting ready for battle. He believes that everything will work out for their benefit. He said, "We're just going to go out there and win. Do everything you can to win. I'm not going to tell you the plan or anything like that." On the other hand, most people agree that I am sure we will win. Since Crawford fought in a lighter weight class for most of his career, the fact that he had a higher knockout rate, 73% versus 63.9% for Canelo, is amazing. But Oscar de la Hoya has also been seen talking about the fight, the marketing firms, and the dinner that Canelo, Crawford, and Turki Alalshik went to.
Ridiculous promotion of Canelo Crawford has given me lots of good ammunition.
Get some, baby!
Ooh, first, let's take it back to last week when this photo was taken of Canelo and Crawford having dinner together. Like they're best friends.
I love you, man.
They're buddies, like they were family friends.
Oscar de la Hoya got angry as he talked about the fight and then attacked the boxer's overly polite banter, which he thinks has made the sport less exciting. De la Hoya says that fans don't watch to see how much they admire each other. For them, a fight is only fun when it's so intense and tense that it feels like a war is about to start. The intensity of rivalries like Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier or Mike Tyson versus Mitch Green would never have worked if those fighters had been seen eating together before the fight. He said, comparing the atmosphere before a fight today to that in historical stories.
Can you imagine Muhammad Ali or like Joe Frazier having dinner together? What? Can you imagine Mike Tyson and Mitch Green before a brawl? What the f? No boxing fan wants to see two fighters having dinner together.
We could have a dinner on Wednesday night.
He then stood up. He says what draws people to fighting is the build-up. Because of the stress and mental weight, every round feels like a fight to stay alive. When the advertising story sounds forced or too polished, it loses its charm.
Bad blood. We want anticipation. We want to feel like an actual war is about to happen. Not caviar and champagne together while they're staging their trilogy. Jesus Christ.
Oscar made a personal statement when he told Bud to bring up the issue of Canelo's failed drug test that was linked to bad beef. This fight has been Canelo's worst fear for years. It was smart of De La Hoya to change the emotional tone of the ad and get people really excited. I mean, come on, he joked. Doesn't anyone else like this idea? We don't have time for this. You want to really make Canelo mad, Crawford? Then tell the truth about his rotten foods. But it's not just numbers and data. History is what this is. Crawford has won this fight twice before and has never lost. He doesn't have anything else to prove. Even so, he wanted to face the task that he could only do if he were raised to infinity. But Canelo has been in charge for so long that the only way he can stay in charge is to kill the person who is supposed to take him down. A British boxing reporter named Gareth A. Davies gave Crawford a sobering warning of what he is about to face. He was honest and open about what he thought this argument might turn into.
Fight for both men. Canelo always looks for the knockout, as he says. He will be planting his feet. And as I said to Terence, are you prepared to be hit harder than you've ever been hit before? Obviously, he doesn't want to be hit, but Canelo will hit him harder than anyone he's probably been in against.
Davies says what he means. For Canelo, box cute is not his thing. He's here to hurt you. He stands his ground, fights without thinking, and tries to get the knockout like a man on a mission. Also, the shots Canelo is going to take are unlike any Crawford has ever taken. Along with skill, it tests your strength, heart, and pure will. This fight isn't just a game of tactical chess. In this fight, every clean hit could mean the difference between victory and defeat. This question that Davies asks is also very scary. Are you sure Crawford is ready for that much fire?
Spence hits hard, but it wasn't the same Errol Spence that he fought. And he's up against one of the all-time greats of Mexican boxing on September the 13th at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. It's a really big fight for him. It's a legacy fight because his resume isn't anything like Saul Canelo Alvarez's legacy.
There's no doubt that this isn't your average fighting match because of the heat, the drama, and the tension. It's a fight between custom, pride, and raw emotion. With every press conference, quote, and argument, the fire keeps going. One thing is certain, whether it's competition or friendship, clever maneuvers or full-on hostility, Conflict is conflict. Tenants Crawford and Canelo Alvarez will finally fight, and everyone will be looking to see who wins with history on their side. If this breakdown made you feel hot, don't forget to like it and subscribe for more real fight talk. Also leave your forecast in the comments. Will Canelo put an end to all doubts once more, or is Crawford really getting to him? Keep reading and let us know what you think below. Things are only getting worse in this fight.